Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your January 2023 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will also be a timestamp in the description box should you like to jump to the start of the reading. We are going to be going over a lot of information this month, Aquarius, so please do remember to take only what resonates with you and leave the rest, because this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. I would also like to say happy birthday to any of you January Aquarius babies out there. I hope you have an incredible, incredible birthday month. Let's jump in and see what's going on for you this month, Aquarius. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Aquarius's theme for January 2023, please. What is Aquarius's theme for January 2023? Yep, thank you. What does Aquarius need to know to start the year off in alignment, please? Okay. What opportunities does Aquarius have for expansion this month? Thank you. What does Aquarius's soul want them to know this month, please? Thank you. And what does God want Aquarius to remember? What does God want Aquarius? Thank you. Let's get some clarity for you. Tell us more, please, about Aquarius's theme for January 2023. That was definitely user error. Tell us more, please, about Aquarius's. That wasn't. Okay. I don't know why I feel like I need to take all of them. Normally that would be way too many, but for whatever reason. What does Aquarius need to know to start the year off in alignment, please? What does Aquarius need to know to start the year off in alignment? Tell us more about that. These right there. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about Aquarius's opportunities for expansion. Yep, thank you. Tell us more, please, about what Aquarius's soul would like them to know. What does Aquarius's soul want them to know? Tell us more about that. Tell us more, please, about, yep, thank you. And tell us more, please, about what God wants Aquarius to remember this month. What does God want Aquarius to remember this month, please? Okay, thank you. All right, let's take a look at your theme, Aquarius. So you do have here for you solar light upgrade, solar plexus chakra, inner fire, and willpower. Interestingly, the first message that I'm getting is, I don't know what this might apply to, right? Maybe there's some more information in the tarot that we're holding, but I'm holding, but I feel like there could be something here, Aquarius, where whatever it is that you're experiencing this month, it's going to take everything you've got. I don't know what that means. I don't know if maybe that's for somebody specific. Maybe there's something that someone's been experiencing that, you know, has required them to dig down and find that willpower to keep going, or find that inner fire to pursue whatever it is that they feel called to. But it just really feels to me like something that you are experiencing this month, Aquarius, is going to require you to really pull from that inner strength. And for some of you, I don't know why, but for some of you, I feel like this is about a job. Whether or not it's the kind of work you do and like requiring strength for the work that you do, or if it is right, and that could be like mental strength as well. I just want to say that it doesn't necessarily have to be like a physical strength, because I am seeing like the like high demand jobs, right? And for, I don't know what that is. Again, that might mean something for somebody. I just feel like whatever it is that you're experiencing, oh gosh, you guys, let's see, I don't know what my camera's doing. I apologize, you guys. It's hella bright. Let me see if I can fix. Oh, there we go. All right. So I do apologize if that made you all shaky. But anyways, I feel like whatever it is that you're experiencing this month, Aquarius, is going to require that inner fire from you, right? It's oh, yep. And I'm getting like all hands on deck. So what do I mean by that? I feel like this month for you is one of those where it's going to require that emotional strength, um, the mental strength, possibly the physical strength as well, right? I hope I don't know why in my head, like, or hearing myself talk, like, I don't know if I said that properly. That's so weird. Um, okay, thank you. Thank you, Lord. So maybe there's some miscommunication. Okay. For I don't know what that's about or who that's for, but I'm getting this message of me not knowing if I said what I said properly, right? About mental strength, about emotional strength and physical strength, right? Not knowing if I said the word physical properly, which is wild to me. But I feel like that's a message about there could be some miscommunication, or mishearing things, or misunderstanding things, or misinterpreting things for you this month. And perhaps that's where some of that strength is needed or required, right? And sometimes strength is in just giving people grace, right? Sometimes the strength comes in just allowing people to go through whatever they're going through, right? And keeping your own compass pointed north, or keeping yourself balanced, right? Let's see what we have here for you from the tarot. So we have the Father or King of Cups first, which you cannot make this shit up, Aquarius, because it's literally emotional balance. This is a card of emotional balance. So again, I feel like it's going to take that strength, right? It's going to take you being emotionally balanced this month. Okay? So fascinating. Like, I'm kind of speechless about that one, not going to lie. But, and I do feel like for some of you, there's something here about that, the strength or inner power to follow your intuition, right? Because the cups energy is related to your intuition as well. Of course, it's about emotions and feelings and relationships and love and union and things, or things like that. But I feel like there's a highlight here on that intuition, because I do feel like in order to follow your intuition, in order to do what you feel is true, there comes a certain amount or a certain degree of willpower to do that, especially if your intuition is telling you to walk away from places you're comfortable or from people you're comfortable with, right? So let's see what else we have here. Wow, the moon in the reverse as well, showing up for you, Aquarius. So, I mean, the moon in reverse is about fears and confusion, secrets and hidden things, right? This can also be, so the moon in the upright is also about your intuition, right? And here it's in the reverse. So again, trusting your intuition, listening to your intuition. It's going to take strength to do that, right? It's going to take strength, that emotional balance and strength to push through this month for you, because I do feel like there are things that are, I feel like this can come about in a couple of different ways, but I do feel like for some there are things that are coming to the surface that have been, or 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 that are showing up in your experience that could create fear, or that have been um like pain points for you, right? Like places where you have fear, where there have been fear, or there has been fear rather, or if you find yourself in situations that can be confusing, I feel like that emotional balance, or the ability to remain balanced and to dwell upon, to pull from rather, that strength that you have within you, I feel like it's going to help you to move through this energy, right? And for some of you, I feel like there could be things coming to the surface, like secrets or hidden things, whether that be things that you're learning about yourself, hidden things about yourself, or things that you've repressed or hidden intentionally, or if it is things that are like coming out into the light, like things that involve other people that maybe you didn't know anything about, that are coming into your awareness, right? I just feel like there's some things that are going to need that emotional strength, that inner fire, and that willpower for you to move through the fear, the confusion, and the secrets, depending on how it shows up for you. Also have here the 7 of Cups. Yeah. And there's going to need to be some choices that need to be made. And I do feel like there is something there about like choosing the cup that actually brings you that fulfillment, that actually makes you feel joyous and excited about life and full of life, and that sort of thing. Like the 7 of Cups is about, again, it's about choices. It's about making decisions, having choices. And for you, Aquarius, I just really feel like there's something here, because it's like, how do I word this? I'm going to put this as best as I can, right? And please understand, this comes from a place of love. This is going to take you like seeing the cups, okay? And cups can be, again, like places where you feel like where you things you feel, your relationships, your emotions, love, your intuition, right? Your spirituality, all of these sorts of things. If, how do I word this? It's like there's a need to be choosing the cups that bring you fulfillment. Okay? Right? Like, how do I word this? Do you see how there are 6 cups that are pointed up towards the moon? And then there's the 1 cup that is pointed down and toward the sun. You see that? Yes. Sometimes it is the cup that looks most empty, which is that brings the most fulfillment, if that makes any sense at all. Or it is the 1 cup in comparison to the many cups that brings the most fulfillment, right? So, for example, there could be somebody who's like, hey, I have these 6 cups. Here's all of these cups. You can have all of these cups for this. Here you go. Or you can have this 1 cup. You decide which cups you would like, or, which cups or cup, which choice, right? What do you want? And I feel like in this situation, right, many people would take more cups because they feel like more indicates that there's going to be something that has more value. And that's not always necessarily the case, right? So I feel like it's choosing the things that are best for you, Aquarius, right? And sometimes it's less is more. Sometimes it's the 1 cup that's going to bring you the most fulfillment, that's going to bring you the most happiness, the most joy. right? Sometimes too many cups leads to confusion. Sometimes too many cups leads to hiding certain things. I don't know who that's for or why that came out that way, right? But I just feel like some things that are hidden, and I just feel like light can be shed on some things this month. And here's the thing, like the way I'm looking at these cards, right? Like it almost looks, if you look at them, it almost looks like the sun is like dot, or I don't know, not the sun. It almost looks like the moon is like running. Does that make sense? Right? Like, oh, 1 minute it's down here, the next minute it's up here. So it's like the secrets are like running, but they're there. And I feel like there's something here about like exposing secrets or something to that effect. Right? Like it's not running from secrets. It's like bringing secrets to light or truths to light. And it's interesting because you have all of this emotional energy here with the cups, right? Both the king and the 7 of cups, and then the moon. They're all super emotional cards. So this likely has something to do with your true feelings about something. What else do you have here? The 6 of Swords in the reverse as well for you, Aquarius, is part of your theme, right? And the 6 of Swords in the reverse is an energy of having this like emotional baggage, right? A lot of times it's an energy of like wanting to forgive or reconcile or something to that effect. But I mean, I really feel like there's something that's hidden here, some kind of emotions, and I feel like it stems from something, some sort of emotional baggage or some sort of emotional trauma or experience that you had, which created fear. And I feel like there's stories that you've been telling yourself because of that fear, right? And for some reason, I just got this message that, like, for some of you, this fear has flooded into many areas of your life. And here's the thing about fear, it pollutes, right? It's like when you add oil to water. Like we've seen this happen, right? Sorry, guys, I had to shift my chair. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And again, it pollutes things. So I feel like there's been fears that have been polluting your experience. And for some reason, for some of you, I feel like it's kept you from being honest about some things, especially in regards to your emotions. What else? You have the World here, which is absolutely beautiful, Aquarius. I love this for you, right? Because this talks about things coming full circle or reaching the end of a cycle and moving into a space of harmony, which, this month could provide that opportunity for you. But I feel like if that's the case, then there's going to be the willingness to close cycles. And I think that's what people kind of miss about, tarot and these sorts of tools is, in order to close cycles, and even when you look at healing in general, in order to close cycles, you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to let things go. You have to be willing to reconcile and forgive, whether that's yourself or other people. And it does take a lot of inner fire or willpower or courage to sit in a space and be emotionally balanced enough to allow forgiveness, right? Not just to give it, but to receive it. really interesting. It's really interesting. I feel like, I mean, the world showing up says that you're on the verge of breakthrough, right? It says you're on the verge of a new experience, but again, you have to be willing to let the thing heal, right? It's like before you can enter that new phase, you have to be willing to release whatever this is. Whatever, right? And it has fear, confusion, hiding, secrets, right? Maybe making some choices. Whoo, yep, the tower. Yes, it has to do with, yep, yep, yep. Because the tower in reverse is avoidance. It's fear of change, fear of suffering, right? And a lot of people look at this card and they're like, oh God, like my whole world's going to fall apart. Well, here's the thing about the tower, right? The thing about the tower is that it is a card of foundational shifts. And the way the tower works is if God's essentially trying to nudge you to make the changes and you don't make them, the tower comes in to shake things up. So you are essentially forced to pay attention to what you need to in order to grow, in order to learn, expand, right? In order to complete cycles, in order to move on to the next phase of your reality, or at least that's what we're supposed to do, right? It's like if you get too comfortable for too long in a space where you're not supposed to stay, then God will come in and shake things up after trying to nudge you, right? More often than not, God tries to nudge you like a shit ton before actually coming in and bringing the tower, right? And when the tower comes, it's like, hey, you know, if you are able to see it for what it is and understand that there are foundational shifts taking place, that you have the opportunity to challenge outdated ways of thinking and outdated beliefs, and to really create a transformation, right? A breakthrough. But again, in the reverse, it's avoiding that. It's like, I don't want to let the things go, right? I can't do that. Okay, well, if you can't do that, right, that's when it brings in, you know, typically more of the shaking, more of the things. It's like, oh my, and then you'll hear people say like, oh, my whole life is falling apart, right? And it's likely because, and I've seen this happen a lot of times in um relationships. And I don't just mean romantic ones, right? Like all sorts of relationships where, you know, people are like, oh, like I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to make it work. And all of these things keep happening where it's like, we're not supposed to be together, but I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to make it work. And then things will just completely blow up. And it feels like everything goes wrong at once. Like the relationship ends, the job ends, or something with the house happens, or the car, or whatever. And it's like, you know, because God was trying to nudge that whole time. Like you knew, you already knew, right? And again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be friendships. It can be, I mean, it can be anything. I'm just using relationships as an example, right? Because it's something I've seen and experienced. So I feel like this theme for you for January is really about allowing that shift to take place. Like it's there for you. The world is out because the opportunity is there, right? But you have to be willing to allow the change, right? Versus fearing it. Let's take a look at what you need to know to start the year off right, though we've just spent a good chunk of time talking about that, I feel. You have star being healing codes, important information, wounds are healed and recharging. Yeah, I mean, again, like I was saying, I feel like there's something here where, you know, you may have experienced something where you've kind of pushed it down or repressed it or hid it or what have you, right? And I feel like this is something that is being given the opportunity to be healed, right? Because it's about staying in that space of balance, facing fears, making choices that are in best alignment with you, where you're going, what you want to experience, your life force, like where you want life to take you, what fills you up, right? Allowing there to be forgiveness and reconciliation to bring the close of a cycle, to bring harmony back into the situation, right? But in order to do that, you have to be willing to accept change, face change, experience change, right? And I feel like that's part of that wounds being healed. That's how you heal the wounds, is by alchemizing the experience, by taking it from something bad that's created bad, and or what we refer to as bad or challenging or painful, and making it into something that is good for you, beneficial for you, right? But again, it's a choice. And oftentimes, in order to make that choice, we do need that important information. And for some of you, I do feel like it's like the pieces, whatever they are for you, coming together with what's coming through here to say, in a sense, like, oh, that's what I needed. That's what I needed right there, to be able to see this for what it is and to move forward, right? From the tarot, you have the Mother of Cups. Holy shit. Yeah, so this definitely could have been, or could be, something in regards to like some sort of romantic relationship, romantic relationship. It's also possible that this could be a relationship with someone who maybe you have children with, perhaps. Doesn't have to be, though. But with the Mother of Cups or Queen of Cups, again, this is emotional stability, maturity, being able to be in control of your emotions, to navigate them. Also, your intuition, your feelings, right? Being able to trust that, to follow that, and not be afraid of what you feel or what you know to be true within yourself, right? And I feel like this is how you start the year off in alignment, is by following those things, by acknowledging that and accepting it and moving forward with that, right? You have it here twice. Twice. Okay? You also have here, wow, Justice in the reverse showing up for you as well. And the Justice in the reverse, Aquarius, is this energy of dishonesty or unaccountability. Okay? Or it can be unfairness as well. And here's the thing, right? You have wounds being healed here. And again, I said, I feel like you've been hiding things, or something has been hidden, right? Pushed down, repressed, tucked away, right? And then here is this energy with the Justice and the reverse, that is an energy of dishonesty. And it doesn't have to necessarily be that you've been just dishonest with other people. It's about being dishonest with yourself, right? Or being unfair to yourself because you're not being truthful. Okay? And sometimes we do that, right? Sometimes we do that in relationships. And here's the thing, like, if you're looking at this from a romantic relationship perspective, sometimes we do that because we're afraid of being alone. And so we'll push things down and we'll shut our mouth and we'll not, be honest and truthful about what we feel, because we'd rather, not start over again or not be alone, right? I'm just saying. You have, wow, Aquarius, you have Strength in the reverse showing up, right? So again, it's interesting because these two cards here, the Solar Light Upgrade and then the Strength card in the reverse, are basically the same energies, right? Because the Solar Light Upgrade card, if it had a zodiac sign to it, I would say it would be Leo. Leo represents the sun, right? And then here you have the Strength card, which is also a representation of Leo, and it's in the reverse. And so what you need to know to start the year off in alignment is that it's going to take you being able to, again, pull from that inner strength, right? It's going to have, I feel like it's going to take you having to face doubt, right? It's also going to take you having to like lower that pride, right? Be willing to be truthful with yourself about where you've been dishonest with yourself. That's a hard pill to swallow. Okay? What opportunities do you have for expansion, Aquarius? You have here beautiful heart of source, all encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. Yeah, yeah. Aquarius, this is about getting back to you and accepting you fully for exactly what you are and how you feel. And no, I don't mean that in the sense of you can just run around and be a jerk to people, be jerky to people, be mean to people. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying. Right? That whole mentality or attitude of like, I don't need anybody and I do what I want. Like, I don't care who I step on. That's not what we're talking about here. Right? That's not growth. That's ego. That's feeding ego. But when we're talking about opportunities for expansion, and I created this spread with the intention of it being exactly that, an opportunity, right? And what I mean is that in order to grasp this, in order to pick it up as an opportunity for you, you have to be willing to be paying attention, present in the moment, able to see the opportunity, and then be willing to act on it. And here it's showing up for you, Aquarius, to say you have this opportunity to unconditionally accept and love yourself, even the parts you're afraid of, even the parts you're afraid of somebody else seeing, even the parts you think people won't understand, even the parts you don't understand about yourself, even the ugly parts, right? And I feel like this is where you have the opportunity to really grow and it's this energy of like, how do I word this without it? I'm trying to word it without it being like, something that only women can resonate with. But I'm kind of seeing it in the sense of, like some of us may feel that like roses are the prettiest or lilies are the prettiest or, whatever. Orchids are the prettiest flowers, whatever it might be for you, right? Like some of us feel like that might be the prettiest one. But that doesn't stop. So, for example, if yours is roses, that doesn't stop the orchid from being any less pretty or believing it's any less pretty or valuable or any of that, right? It's just a different kind of pretty. It's a different kind of beautiful. And there's something here for you, Aquarius, where I feel like you could really expand into loving yourself more as something beautiful in its own way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the rose doesn't think the thorns are that pretty, right? But it doesn't make the rose any less pretty. Than we don't, you know what I'm saying? I hope that's making sense, but I feel like this is your opportunity for that, to really see yourself as the beautiful creation that you are, regardless of how flawed it may seem. But that's what unconditional acceptance is, right? That's what unconditional love is. It is seeing something for everything it is and not needing to change it or alter it in order to love it or accept it. And this is what I feel is your opportunity for this month, Aquarius, is to really accept yourself, really love yourself, or at least, again, you have the opportunity to step into that space, right? What else do you have here? Holy Grail, inner discovery, excuse me, finding sacredness, you are what you seek. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Maybe you find yourself, Aquarius, like not in a, I don't know, this might be for somebody really specific, okay? But maybe you find yourself not in a relationship for the first time in a long time, or maybe you didn't think you would ever be single again, or, something to that effect. And you're thinking like, oh my gosh, my whole life is falling apart. Like, I don't even know who I am right now, right? Like, that sort of stuff. I just feel like there's something here that for somebody, maybe you lost parts of yourself in a relationship with somebody, and now you're like out on your own and you have no idea who the hell you are. And I feel like if that is true for you, if you resonate with that, your opportunity for expansion here is like, I feel like God has put you in a position to be able to find out exactly who you are by starting you off from scratch. Again, I feel like that's probably for somebody or a handful of somebody's, very specific. I don't feel like that's going to apply to everybody. However, I do feel like with this Holy Grail and you are what you seek, I feel like for some of you, there's been this, what I would consider some sort of chase or pursuit, if you will, of value. Right? I feel like you've been trying to figure out what your value is, or where your value lies, or what is it that makes you valuable. Right? I feel some of you have put this into your work, for example, or how much money you have, or your position or status, or your marriage status, or your, wherever you are for whatever age you are, or what you have for whatever age you have, or, very worldly type of status measurements, right? And maybe God's put you in a position now for you to see like none of that matters. None of that matters. You are what you seek. You are where your value lies. Right? I feel like some of you would resonate with me saying that the statement, how do I word this? If I were to say to you, I feel like you've spent a long time trying to find yourself. I feel like some of you would resonate with that. Right? And I feel like for some of you, it's because people have tried to put you in a box. And I don't feel like you fit into a box. I don't feel like you're supposed to fit into a box. Right? And so now I feel like now, as an adult or in your adult life, perhaps, right? Maybe you've been trying to find a fucking box, and guess what, Aquarius? There's no box for you to fit in. You're not supposed to fit in a box. And I feel like that's part of what you could expand on, or where you can grow this month, right? Is figuring out like the limit does not exist. There doesn't have to be a box. You also have here the Father of Swords, which is fascinating to me, right? Or King of Swords, because this is essentially, I feel, you showing up for yourself, Aquarius, and understanding you don't fit in a fucking box. Like, that is not your normal average looking owl, right? And it's holding a freaking rainbow sword at that. Right? You're not supposed to fit in a box. And I feel like that's the opportunity you have. You have the opportunity to be truthful with yourself, because that is what the King of Swords is. He's very truthful and honest with himself. Not only that, but he has this balance between his head and his emotions, his thoughts and his emotions. Right? It's kind of a logical thinker, and I feel like this is something that you're being put, or rather, a challenge that you may be experiencing this month is the balance of these two things, the balance of your logic and your emotions and truth. Because here's the thing, I feel some of you have been able to kind of balance the logic and the emotions, but not from a truthful space. Because if you were truthful, it would hurt. If you were truthful, you would have to deal with emotions, and I feel like some of you have not been doing that. Okay? I'm just going to be honest. There's a whole lot of cup energy here. Not only in the tarot, but you have the freaking Holy Grail, which is in this cup, or in this deck, a cup, a chalice. Right? So I feel like this is really about you having the opportunity to show up for yourself in truth, for real, to feel the things and know the things and be honest about it all at the same time, right? What does your soul want you to know? Oh, yes. You have sacred heart here, or excuse me, Stargate heart. Heart chakra. Excuse me. I don't know why I cannot talk right now. Let me try this again. What your soul wants you to know, you have Stargate heart chakra opening, unlocking, and generosity. And I just want to say, like, it's not very often that I struggle with speaking. Okay? It's not. It's really not. I'm pretty good at it. And so it's interesting to me that like I'm like tripping over my words when we're talking about your soul, and I feel like that's because Aquarius, there could have been like this disconnect from your heart space and your soul space, right? Like from following your heart, from following your soul, from following what you know to be true within, right? And it not connecting with the physical world. Okay? With this unlocking here, I do feel like this is about your soul's wanting you to know, like, I want to lovingly say, I feel like your soul's trying to like break through the emotions, break out the emotions, unlock that heart space, let all the feels do what they're going to do, right? Like, I really feel like this is about cracking you open in a sense to all of those feelings that you have and being okay with them, right? Being okay with the fact that you feel them and experience them and that they are a part of who you are. Acknowledging and accepting and coming into a true space where you don't feel or see emotions as being weak. I feel like that's what your soul wants you to know. You also have here, yeah, remember who you are. You have soul star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Now, what's really fascinating is you have fulfilling soul contracts, which is exactly what that, I shouldn't say exactly what the world is about, but it is about things closing or fulfilling things, right? So your soul's saying, like, there are things that are going to be coming to an end this month, and it's important that they do, right? Because I feel like some of these things that you're holding on to have caused you to forget who you are, and even more so, right? Because we all come to this planet, this incarnation, with amnesia, right? We all have a soul purpose here, at least that's what I believe, and we, are born in a state of amnesia, right? So we already don't know who we are. Then you layer on all the programming, the trauma, the wounding, the societal bullshit, the cultural bullshit, the religious bullshit, and all the other bullshit that we pick up, right? And we really do forget who we are. And I feel like this, your soul saying, like, you've forgotten who you are, Aquarius. And so, in order for you to find that again, we need to close some of these things out. We need to release some of these things. So I do feel like for some of you, there are going to be some things that are coming to an end this month, if they haven't already. Because I feel like this is unlocking, it's about unlocking who you are for you, right? Not for any relationship. I don't know why I feel like I need to say that. And there's like, these two, it's interesting because these two cards have like that star that look very similar, just different colors, right? And so again, I just feel like this is really that focus on you, right? Is how, because how you show up for you, Aquarius, is also how you're going to show up for other people. If you love yourself unconditionally, you can love other people unconditionally. If you give yourself compassion, you have the ability to give compassion to other people, right? So it's such a big, it's a bigger purpose than just you, but it's important that you like remedy these things within yourself so that you can be of service to other people. Damn, you have here as well Akashic Records, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. Yep. And I feel like what you're releasing a lot of is fear. And it's deep-seated fear. And it's uncomfortable. And it's disruptive. It is disruptive because I feel like when these fears come up, it creates upheaval. Right? Like these could be, like it could be the things like you push down. Right? And you hear people talk about this happening where they'll push things down, push things down, push things down. And then all of a sudden, one day something happens and then they fly off the handle and they say a bunch of things they don't mean. And maybe they do some things they don't mean, or they just unload everything. Right? Like I feel like there's a lot of things that need to just be released. And again, I do feel like these things are likely uncomfortable. And I do feel like these things are likely things that aren't going to be easily faced, but it needs to be done. Right? In order for you to be free from them, they have to be addressed. Damn, you have Judgment here in the reverse as well. So this is, I mean, here's the thing, Aquarius, you're going to have to let go of, and if this resonates with you, right? Take it only if it resonates. The self-loathing. And for some of you, that is very deep. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what the wound or the trigger is. I'm not sure. But for some of you, you're going to have to release that self-loathing. Right? For some of you, you're going to have to release that, like, I don't know why. For some reason, I'm getting this, like, punishment type of energy. Right? And I feel like your soul wants you to know that you're becoming aware, or that need for self-awareness is something that you're going to need to be able to tap into this month. Judgment in the reverse is like a lack of self-awareness. It's self-loathing. It's doubt. It is, let's see. And here's the thing. Yeah, thank you. The other part of it is like in the upright, the Judgment is this energy of like transparency with yourself and transparency with spirit, right? Like willing to be judged, right? Like I don't know why I'm getting this. I don't know why. For some of you, that's important. It's an important part of your journey. I feel like some of you fear being judged, right? But there's a need for you to be very transparent with yourself, Aquarius. And again, for those that resonate, like release that self-loathing. So what does God want you to remember or keep in mind as you move through this month, Aquarius? Oh, this is so beautiful. You have crown chakra upgrade, divine connection, holy experiences, and miraculous energy. So first and foremost, I feel like God wants you to remember or keep in mind that you're not alone. You have support, right? You have support from God, from spirit, from your angels, your guides. You have support. You're not alone. So first and foremost. Secondly, I feel like God wants you to keep in mind that, oh, that's interesting. I don't know who this is for, but I just got like wait, give it to me one more time. Yes, thank you. Through God, all things are possible. Right? So for some, I feel like God wants you to remember or keep in mind, like, or to build upon or find strength in faith in that connection with God, right? I'm also getting like this, like miraculous things happen all the time, right? And it's this energy of like, there's some sort of element of like taking the risk, right? And miraculous things happening. Like when you face your fears, when you do something that feels impossible, or that looks like this incredible task, and maybe it is, but I mean, I'm just getting this energy of like miracles happen all the time, right? And I feel like you're capable of far more than what you think, and maybe that would be the miracle. Maybe you would see it as being a miracle for you to overcome something as challenging as yourself. And I say that with so much love, Aquarius, because by far one of the most challenging things I've ever had to deal with is myself, for sure, right? Let's see what else you have here. So you do have, yeah, you have the Eight of Swords here in the reverse, and the Eight of Swords is self-imprisonment, self-victimization. It's telling yourself the same things over and over again, or creating these stories, or buying and selling these stories over and over again, right? That limit you, that hinder you, that make you feel like you can't, or tell you that you can't, right? So again, like, and it's interesting because you have this dove on here, right? But also the butterfly. So there's these symbols of flight. And I feel like, again, like through God, all things are possible. Like, notice how the butterfly is over here, all, cocooned and tucked in behind these swords, where that dove is, its wings are wide open. The heart, notice the focus of the heart there on that dove as well. So again, right, I just feel like God saying, like, through me all things are possible, right? And I feel like this could be helpful for you in releasing these things that have kept you essentially self-imprisoned. And you have freedom here too, right? Your soul saying, like, freedom, release the stories. That's what this card is about, releasing those stories, because whatever you're doing, you're keeping yourself stuck, right? God's like, I'm trying to help you free yourself. You're keeping yourself stuck. You have to make some decisions here. You also have the Hermit. Yeah, God, you guys, I want to lovingly say to you, Aquarius, if God is pulling people out of your life, there's a reason. God is saying, like, if you're alone, you need to be alone. There's a reason that God has you alone this month, if that is where you find yourself, right? Because here's the thing, the Hermit is the archetype of the wise man. In the moments of solitude is when you learn the most about yourself, right? We tend to be very reflective. We tend to be introspective, which is why many people don't like being alone, because you're alone with your thoughts. You're alone, right? They don't like being in silence, because then you have to like deal with yourself, right? And I feel like God is saying, like, if you find yourself in those moments, it is for you to be able to see yourself, to become wise in yourself, aware of yourself, and of who you really are, right? Like, this isn't just about becoming aware of the things that hold you back. This is also about becoming aware of how strong you are, right? This is also about becoming aware of what you're capable of, right? I think it's also very fascinating because 2023 is a universal 7 year, which is about being reflective and introspective, right? Taking a look at ourselves. And here you have this Hermit energy, which is also about being reflective and taking a look at yourself, right? You also have here the Six of Cups in the reverse. And this is an energy of acceptance, moving forward. Like, it's also like an independent type of energy, right? I mean, I would even go so far as to say, for this particular reading, Aquarius, and for you, I feel like this is about leaving the past behind you, right? Leaving the past behind you, moving forward, right? It's really interesting how this energy is showing up, because I feel like for some of you, like there's something, I don't know who this is for, but for somebody, there's something in the roots, right? So it could be like your root chakra, like your childhood, right? Growing up, your foundations. Like there's something at the root where God is trying to help you to see yourself, and to see yourself as more than a victim. Because I feel like God's saying, like, you're not a victim, right? And I feel like it's about leaving that, part of your past behind you and moving forward. Very, very interesting reading, Aquarius. I feel like yours has been one of the more, um, I don't want to say serious, but more like focused readings, right? It really feels to me like God is really trying to put you in a position to see yourself fully and to fully appreciate everything that you see and to love it and embrace it and to find a way to navigate the truth of who you are without hiding or repressing any of it, right? Allowing yourself to be free from any stories that you've told yourself that say you're too much or not enough, or whatever the case may be, because I feel like there's something incredibly beautiful about you, Aquarius. There's something incredibly spectacular, and it's just waiting to be found. It's waiting to be released. It's waiting to be freed from its cage, right underneath all of the hidden doubt and fear. And I hope that you find the courage to let the world see it this month. Thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate your time and your energy. It's been an absolute pleasure to read for you. I pray that your month is full of expansion and courage and love for yourself. Have an incredible, incredible month. Take care of your beautiful soul. Remember that you've got this and God's got you. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.